Emma here. Thanks so much for tuning in. Welcome to another yoga practice. Let's go ahead and lie down onto our backs to begin. You'll take a knock knee shape, feet kind of wide, let the knees fall in towards each other. Place both hands on your belly. Feel free to make any adjustments you need, settling into your space. Feel free to grab props for this practice, although I will not cue them. You are always welcome to use blocks, blankets, bolsters, anything you need to help support your physical practice. Start to close your eyes if you're comfortable. If not, choose a spot on the ceiling or the sky. Soft gaze, relax behind your eyes. Wherever you are in relation to your breath, let's exhale and empty the lungs completely. Draw a slow breath in through your nose. Sip in a little extra at the top. And open mouth, exhale. Push all the air out. Do that again. Breathe in through your nose. Sip in a little more air at the top. And let it go. Pull your belly button down, push all the air out. We'll do one more. Inhale through your nose. A little extra. And let it go. Push all the air out. Just return to an even Ujjayi pranayama. In and out through your nose. And the intention of this practice is just to feel, so not to force poses. Notice what comes up for you physically, maybe energetically or emotionally as we move into different shapes. Never forcing yourself to reach a certain point or make a pose look a certain way. Let's go ahead and take the arms out wide. Drop both knees over to the right side. You can stay like this, or if you're ready, you can put the right foot on top of the left thigh. Let the shoulder blades remain heavy on the ground. Breathe all the way into the left side. Think about the breath being even on the way in and the way out. If your ankle's over your thigh, keep it there. Bring it back through center, figure four pose. You can keep your left foot on the ground or grab your left hamstring and pull in. Flex your right toes, push your right knee away from you. Slightly tuck your chin, lengthen the back of your neck. Release your arms, slide your right leg over your left leg, drop the knees off to the left and look off to the right, supine twist. Soften your inner thighs. Notice if on the exhales, you can almost imagine your right hip going forward, lengthening the right side of your waist. One more breath. From here, I want you to extend your left leg straight, so you're still in a supine twist. Start to roll onto your left shoulder. Plant your right hand just in front of your left bicep. So we're kind of going backwards to a move that we usually do. You're going to end up in this kind of thread the needle shape, using your right forearm as a pillow, facing the back of your mat now. The right leg is still out to the right, 90 degrees. Left arm is underneath. So you should feel a stretch behind the left shoulder, the rotator cuff. Last two. And one. Plant your right hand, unthread your left arm, plant your palms underneath your shoulders like you're gonna go up to cobra, keeping the right leg out to the right. Push down into your hands and the top of your left foot. Inhale, lift your chest. So kind of like a half frog pose, cobra. Keep sinking your hip points down, roll your shoulders back. Lower yourself back down. This time, spike your left toes to the mat. Inhale, lift your chest up. I want you to flip your right foot behind you. So you're rolling onto your left glute. You're now facing the front of your mat. Right foot plants inside of the left thigh. You can stay here, or you could take this into a wild thing, pushing down into your left palm, lifting your hips and your right arm. If it's too early on in the practice for that, skip it. Take a few deep breaths here. Last one. Flip this back around. You're in a plank pose, facing the back of your mat. Lower all the way down to your belly. Inhale, roll up, regular cobra pose. Exhale, child's pose, facing the back of your mat, forehead down. As you breathe in, feel your ribs expand into your thighs. Exhale completely. Walk your hands over to the left. Feel a nice big stretch down your right side. Walk your hands over to the right. Feel a nice big stretch down your left side. Walk your hands back to center. Inhale up to tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, find downward facing dog. You're facing still the back of your mat, pedal out your legs. Breathe evenly with sound, with purpose. Lift your heels up, tippy toes, walk all the way up towards your hands. Step your feet out nice and wide and grab a ragdoll forward fold. You can hold on to the elbows, the ankles, or just let your arms hang heavy. Find some gentle movement side to side. Most importantly, keep your breath moving. Grab the arms opposite. Release your arms, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Turn your toes out, find yogi squat facing the back of your mat. Feel free to shift around a little bit here, welcoming any organic movement that feels good in your body. And if movement doesn't feel natural or nice, you're always welcome to find stillness instead. Lift the back of your skull, sink your tailbone. Plant your hands behind you, drop your butt to the ground. You might wiggle your feet in a little bit. Stretch your arms forward. Take a 10 count, lower all the way to your back, 9. Pull your navel towards your spine, 8, 7, one vertebrae at a time, 6, 5, squeeze an imaginary block between your thighs, 3, 2, 1. Big full body stretch when you get to the ground. Inhale. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Plant your feet wide like how we started class. Take your arms out wide. Drop both knees off to the left. You're welcome to stay here or place your left foot over your right thigh. Keep your right shoulder heavy. Focus on the expansion of the right side lung, rib cage. Bring your legs back through center, figure 4. You can keep right foot on the ground or grab the back of your right leg, flex your left toes and push your knee away from you. Try to keep head and shoulders down with a little tuck of the chin. It's all right if your tailbone lifts up slightly. Release the grip with your hands, slide your left leg over your right leg, drop your knees off to the right, supine twist. Gaze off to the left, shoulders heavy, soften your inner thighs. Try not to let the breath get stuck in your chest or your throat. From here, extend your right leg straight so you're still in a supine twist. You might turn that right palm to face up right away. Start to roll onto the right shoulder. Your left knee will come all the way to the ground. Left hand plants just in front of the right bicep. Once you kind of get situated, you can use that left forearm as a pillow so you're in a thread the needle half frog shape. It's all right if you're off your mat a bit. You should feel this stretch behind the right shoulder, maybe in the upper back. One more breath. Lift your forehead, begin to unthread your right arm. Plant your palms under your shoulders like you're setting up for cobra. Press down with the top of the right foot and your palms. Inhale to a cobra frog shape. Roll the shoulders back and down. Push your hip points forward. Left inner thigh going down. Lower yourself back down. This time, spike your right toes to the mat. We'll push into the hands, lift up again. Roll over your right hip, step your left foot behind you with the knee bent. So you're now facing the back of the mat, right leg straight, left knee bent. You can stay here or you can lift your hips up onto that right hand into a wild thing. Draw your right shoulder back. Right leg is straight. One more breath. And then flip this around, plank pose, facing the front of your mat. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, drop your knees. Lower your chest and chin to the ground in a modified chaturanga. Lower your hips, tops of the feet down, roll through to a cobra pose, shoulders back and down, inner thighs going down. And then tuck your toes, downward facing dog. Find stillness here, feet are hip width. Maybe a little bend in the knees. Outer hips lift, long waist. Press the inner palm down, lengthen your arms, relax your neck. Lift your heels, tippy toes, walk all the way up to your hands. Your feet are touching or hip width. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise, reach your arms up. Exhale, arms to your side, Samastitihi. Inhale, reach up, look to your thumbs. Exhale, fold, push your breath out. Inhale, halfway lift. Palms down, step back, or if you're ready, jump back and chaturanga with or without your knees. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog, firm your thighs. Exhale, downward facing dog. Heels bump out slightly. You have 3 breaths here. In and out through your nose. Lift your heels, look forward, step or jump to the front. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward. Inhale, rise, reach up. And arms down by your side. Again, reach up. Exhale, fold. Feel free to bend your knees. Halfway lift. Step back or jump back. If you're stepping back, alternate which foot goes first, lower on the exhale. Inhale, back bend of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. 3 breaths, breathing with sound. Never in a rush to get to the top or the bottom of the breath. Look forward, step or jump to the front. Halfway lift. Fold in. Rise, reach, and look up. And arms down by your side. Inhale, reach up, feel free to lean back. Exhale, fold over your legs. Half lift, extend. Step back or jump back, lower with your exhale. Inhale, up dog, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your right leg up behind you. Bend your knee, stack your hip. You can stay here or find any movement that feels good. So feel free to move in a different way than you usually do. Square off your hips. Crunch your right knee to your nose. Dome your upper back. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh, figure four down dog, or I like to bend the left knee a bit as well. Push your right shin bone back, lift your outer hips. Look forward, step your right foot forward, drop your back knee, low lunge, reach up. Press your left shin bone down to get more stretch through the left psoas and hip flexor. Grab your left wrist or elbow and lean over to your right. Feel a heaviness in your right heel, a lightness in your right toes. Back through center, half splits pose. Straighten, fold, flex your right toes. You might scoot your heel a bit forward. Lengthen the sides of your waist by drawing your right hip crease back. Spin your left shin behind you. Walk your hands to the left side of your mat so they're off of the mat, right leg out to the right. Like a three-leg tabletop, right leg straight. Spike your left toes to the ground and look between your thumbs. Hover your left knee off of the mat. Keep your shoulders in line with your hips. Draw your navel up and in. The left thigh might start to shake for 3, 2, 1. Step your left foot onto the mat, wide leg forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, walk your hands to the back. Send your left leg high behind you into 3-leg downward dog. Bend your knees, stack your hips, and move around freely. Keep your neck relaxed, head heavy. Feel free to move in a different way than you usually do. Square this off. Crunch left knee to nose, squeeze your low belly. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh, flex your left toes. Push your shin bone back, reach through your arms. Look forward, step your left foot up, drop your back knee, find low lunge, reach both arms overhead. Grab your right wrist or elbow and lean over to your left. Press down with the top of your right foot, right shin bone. Back through center, half split. Straighten, fold, flex your left toes. Feel free to adjust your stance. Draw your belly button back, shoulders back, sternum forward. Spin your right shin behind you, walk your hands off the mat to the right side, shoulders over wrists like a 3-leg tabletop, left leg out to the left. Spike your right toes to the ground, hover your knee 1 or 2 inches off the ground. Squeeze your legs, draw your navel up and in, brace your core for 3, 2, 1. Step your right foot onto the mat, wide leg forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk your hands to the front of your mat. Step your left foot to meet your right foot. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Bend your knees, sit back, Utthita. Bring your hands to your heart center. Draw your rib cage in, lift your heels. Hug your ankle bones together as you start to lower your seat towards your heels into toe stand. Keep hugging the ankle bones in, shoulders over hips. Draw your belly button back and your bottom ribs down. Option to take another yogi squat or take your knees wide and walk your hands forward for a more traditional malasana garland pose. If the hands walking forward is going well, you can walk your hands back underneath you like you're going to take a seat back in your hands. Wiggle your triceps to your shins and push your shins back. Maybe even grab the heels and sink your weight back into the heels. Round your spine. Think triceps pushing back, inner thighs hugging in, creating opposition for 3. Relax your jaw 2. And 1. From here, you can take Bakasana, you could take no arm balance, or you could try baby Bakasana. So baby Bakasana is, to me, easiest from that Malasana shape. Forearms to the ground like you're going to Sphinx or forearm plank. Your knees go high into your armpits just like they would in regular Bakasana. Push your knees forward, shift your weight forward. Your face is really close to the ground, and then float your feet up off the mat. It's almost as if your nose could kiss the ground. Give it a shot if you'd like. If not, Bakasana or simply step back. And we'll take a vinyasa. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Deep breath in and out. Inhale, breath. Exhale, step your right foot to your right thumb, spin your back foot flat, and rise to warrior 1. Look up, connect your palms up top. Draw your ribs together. Keep your gaze up as you pivot on your feet to the left and then all the way to the back, warrior 2. Deeply bend your left knee, spin your right heel out. Lift your hip points. Take a breath in, reverse warrior. Grab that left wrist up top. On your exhale, side angle. Start with the elbow to thigh, and from there, you're welcome to put the hand to the ground or a block. Extend your top arm with the palm facing down. Firm down the outside edge of your right foot. Lighter left toes. Skandasana at the front of the mat. Deeply bend your right knee. I like to open the arms up here using the right tricep to block the right shin. You could also open the arms with the left hand grabbing the left shin and the right arm going up. Let's pivot around to the front of the mat. Find runner's lunge. Feel free to widen your stance a tad. Inhale, come up, crescent warrior. Maybe a little bend in the back knee. Feel your hip points lift. Draw your right hip crease slightly back. Take an inhale. Feel free to lean back. On your exhale, plant your hands. Step your right foot back, chaturanga. Inhale, up. Exhale, down dog. Inhale. Exhale, step your left foot to your left thumb, rise to warrior 1. Bring your gaze up, maybe even connect the palms up top. Draw your left hip crease a little bit back as you roll your right hip forward. Keep your gaze up as you pivot to the right and all the way to the back. Release your arms, warrior 2. Feel free to adjust your feet. Sink your back hip as much as your front hip. Reverse warrior, grab the right wrist up top. And then side angle, starting with the elbow thigh. From there, adding on as you please. Push your right knee a little to the right, and then draw the right hip back to the left. Draw your belly button back. Engage your legs. Sweep this to Skandasana at the front of the mat. Left knee bending. Again, you can feel free to open the arms. Left tricep blocking the left shin, or right hand grabbing the right shin and left arm reaching up. Pivot around to the front of your mat, find runner's lunge. Feel free to adjust your stance. Come on up to a crescent warrior, nice and stable. Like the outer hips are squeezing inwards. Just take a breath in, feel free to lean back, look up. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, chaturanga. Inhale up. Exhale, back, down dog. All right, we're gonna add on to that inhale. Exhale, right foot step. Inhale, warrior one. Bind your hands behind your back with the right thumb on top. Inhale, lift chest. Exhale, humble and hold. Swing your shoulders a little to the right, hips a little to the left. Can you sink your hips more like the pubic bone is pulling forward for 3? 2. 1, inhale up. Right toes in, left toes out to the back, warrior 2. This time straighten your left leg, reverse triangle, but same idea. Grab that left wrist up top. Squeeze your legs. You might even lift your left toes, flex your foot. We'll come back through center, Trikonasana. Reach forward and down to grab the shin, big toe, or a block. Squeeze your legs. Try not to round forward. If you're doing that, walk your hand up further. Reach your hands away from each other. If you want a little more, you can extend your top arm with the palm facing down. Keep rolling the right hip back. Shift your gaze downwards. Hop this up to half moon pose. Left hand to a block or maybe the fingertips. Try not to change direction of the left foot. Squeeze your glute muscles together to roll the right hip on top of the left. Flex your right foot a lot. You could play around with floating your left hand off the ground for 3. Reach up with the right fingertips. 2. And 1. Take a slow step back to warrior 2. Turn your left toes in and bind your hands behind your back again. Inhale. Exhale, wide legs fold forward. Hug the ankle bones in like you're trying to scrunch the mat up underneath you. As you breathe in, feel your sternum pull forward. As you exhale, tip your weight without gripping into your toes. Release your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Walk to the front, find runner's lunge. Widen your stance a tad, come up to a crescent warrior, crescent A. Both arms reach up overhead. Take your right hand and grab your right hip. Give yourself a little squeeze. Capture your left knee or big toe out in front of you. If you're going big toe, extend your legs straight, draw your left shoulder back. Lift the back of your skull, draw your belly button back. Feel strong and stable through your right leg as you take your left leg to the left with the knee or the big toe. Either way, your left foot is flexed, the inner heel kicks forward. Draw your belly button back. Steady breathing. Left leg center, reach up, pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Standing splits, dive your hands to the ground. If you'd like to get off of your right leg for a moment, take a handstand hop or 2, leading with your left leg. 3, 2, and 1. Step your left foot behind your right foot. Walk your hands to the right. Walk your hands to center. Take a long step back with your left foot. That's your back foot. Drop your knee. Spin your left shin off the mat to the left. Left hand to the back of the mat, meeting up in a modified side plank. Make sure you spin your right toes in. Reach your right arm bicep by your ear. Feel free to stay here or float your bottom knee and kick it out for fallen triangle pose. Same action as triangle pose, squeezing the legs, top arm is extending, that left shoulder drawing back. Firm your thighs for 3, 2, 1. Right hand down, find pigeon pose on the left side. Slide your left knee up behind your left wrist, wiggle your right leg back as much as you need. You could stay upright for more of an active pigeon or drop it down to the forearms for more of a sleeping restorative pigeon. Level out the weight in your hips so you're not just rolling onto the left hip. Let's begin to walk the hands back towards us. Spike your right toes to the ground. Figure 4, down dog, left ankle over right thigh. Walk your hands back towards your right foot, take your time. We'll meet up in a figure 4. You're still facing the back of your mat, left ankle over right thigh. Flex your left toes. Now, from here, you could go right to tree pose, or you could try ballet pose. The right hand will grab the waist. Left hand grabs the heel from the inside. I like to stand up first, so my left arm is inside of my left thigh. Straighten out your left leg with the foot flex. The toes point back behind you. Right arm can reach out to the right as a counter pose, and remember, or as a counter balance. And remember, you can always take tree pose instead. Left foot to the inner thigh. Either way, press down with the ball of your right foot to lift the back of your skull for 3. Draw your belly button back for 2. And slowly come on out for 1. Feet hip width, hands to low back. Lift your chest and lean back. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Walk your hands forward and take a vinyasa. Inhale up. Exhale, down dog. All right, take a breath in. Exhale, step your left foot forward. Rise up, warrior 1. Back foot flat, you're still facing the back of your mat, ribs together. Interlace your hands behind your back, left thumb on top. Lift your chest and dive inside, humble warrior. Swing your shoulders a little to the left and hips slightly to the right. Lighter toes, use more the ball and heel of your feet. Sink your hips just a bit for 3. 2. 1. Lift your chest. Left toes in, right toes out to the front, warrior 2. Straighten your right leg, reverse triangle. Grab your right wrist up top and pull back. Option to lift your right toes, flex your right foot to squeeze your quads more. Right foot down, back through center, Trikonasana. Reach and slide your hand down. Squeeze your legs, glute muscles together. Play around with the hand placement to find where you feel the best amount of sensation. If you want a little more, top arm can extend. Pull the bottom ribs in. Shift your gaze down. We'll hop this up to half moon pose. Maybe under the fingertips or a block. Externally rotate your hips by squeezing your glutes together. If you want a little added challenge, try to float your right hand off the ground. Reach up with your left hand. Lengthen your waist for 3. 2. And 1. Take a slow step back, warrior 2. Turn your right toes in, bring your hands to your waist. Inhale. Exhale, elbows behind you as you fold forward. Squeeze your legs and your belly. Notice how much more you have to engage to fold when you're not using your hands to help. So firming the quadriceps, inner thighs. You almost feel the kneecaps lift up. Rolling the weight slightly forward. Slide your shoulders away from your ears. Last 2. And 1. Release your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Crawl your hands towards the back of your mat. Find runner's lunge. Widen your stance if you need, and come up to a crescent warrior high lunge. So you're facing the back of your mat. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Capture your right knee or big toe in front of you and stand up tall. If you're grabbing your big toe, straighten your leg and draw your right shoulder back. Either way, flex your foot as you take your right leg out to the right. Kick your inner heel forward. Try not to lift your right hip higher than your left hip. Press down with the ball of your left foot and steady your gaze. 3, 2, 1. Right leg through center, reach up, pulse for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Standing splits, hands to the ground. If you'd like to get off of that left leg, take a handstand hop or 2, leading with your right leg. You've got 3, 2, and 1. We'll lower right leg behind left leg, crisscross your ankles, and walk your hands to the left. Walk your hands back to center, take a long step back with your right foot, and drop your knee. Spin your right shin behind you, take your right hand to the front of your mat into a modified side plank. Feel free to adjust your stance. Left leg straight, left arm straight, bicep by your ear. Feel free to stay here and enjoy this stretch, or float your right knee off the ground and kick it out to a fallen triangle. Draw your right shoulder back, engage your legs. Left hand down, slide your right knee up behind your wrist, find pigeon pose. Left leg is long behind you with the top of the foot down. Feel free to stay upright, active pigeon, or drop this down to more of a passive or sleeping pigeon. I have also heard this called dead pigeon, which I don't like very much, considering pigeon is my last name. I definitely like sleeping or resting pigeon a little bit more. Let's slowly start to walk the hands back. Spike your left toes. We'll meet in a figure 4 down dog. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Begin to walk your hands back towards your left foot. Take your time getting there. We'll end up in a balancing figure 4. You're now facing the front of your mat, but you're at the back of your mat. Right ankle over left thigh, hands at your heart. Flex your right toes. You can take this right to tree pose, or try ballet pose. Left hand hip, right hand grab the heel from the inside. Stand up first, so the right arm is inside the right thigh, and then maybe work to straighten the right leg, foot flex, toes pointing back. It's like your tailbone is scooping underneath you, maybe left arm to the left as a counterbalance. This is a huge hamstring stretch. Notice sensation and don't force it. 3. Wherever you are, breathing up and down your spine. 2. And gracefully releasing, right foot to the ground, feet are hip width. Hands to low back, lift chest and lean back. Inhale up, exhale, fold. Walk your hands out. Let's lower all the way down to our bellies. We're gonna do our back bends here in this prone shape today. Tops of the feet down, arms by your side with the palms down, thumbs out. Next, inhale, lift chest and arms. Reach your fingers back or make a bind. Binding can help kind of wiggle the shoulders back a little further. Maybe the ribs wiggle forward a little more. Keep the feet on the ground for this first one and firm your glutes. Push your pubic bone down, draw your chin towards your throat for 3, 2, and 1. Lower left ear to the ground, arms by your side. Return your forehead to the ground, bring your legs together this time. Big toes touch, heels touch. Bind your hands, opposite grip. Lift your chest, your arms, and your legs. Instead of trying to lift the legs a lot, think about lengthening the legs, toes pointing back. Pull your chin towards your throat, reach your knuckles away from you. Keep breathing for 3, 2, and 1. Lower, right ear to the ground. Deep breaths. Forehead to the ground, bend your knees, grab the outer edges of your feet. If that doesn't work out today, make a bind once again. If you've got your feet, squeeze an imaginary block between your knees. Begin to kick back and lift. You can gaze wherever's comfortable. I like directly forward. Keep squeezing the inner thighs, the adductor muscles. Try not to let the knees bow outwards for 3, 2, and 1. Slowly release. Plant your palms in line with your ribs, lift yourself up, and then back to a child's pose. Reset. Feel free to stack your forearms, make a little pillow for your forehead. All right, come on up through tabletop. You'll swing your legs through. Let's go 2 straight legs, Paschimottanasana. Wiggle into your butt bones, reach both arms up. Fold over your legs, grab feet, ankles, or whatever's available. Feel free to use a strap. If you're pretty flexible, you could always put a block in front of your feet and reach beyond the block. Feel the inner blades of the feet go forward, the outer blades pull back. Begin to walk your hands back, lie all the way down onto your back. Draw your knees into your chest. We'll take the legs up into waterfall or shoulder stand, hands to support the low back. If you're going shoulder stand, you want your feet over your elbows instead of over your face. So it's a little more engagement through the glutes, inner thighs, and the abdomen. If you're in shoulder stand, take your legs overhead for plow pose. And ear pressure pose. Slowly roll yourself out to fish pose, fingertips under your waistband. Puff up your chest and drop your head back. Stretch your throat, take a lion's breath in. Hard exhale. Lower yourself down and draw your right knee into your chest. Use your left hand to guide your right knee across your body into a simple supine twist. If you'd like a little more intensity, you could bend the left knee, reach your right hand down to grab the inside of your left foot. Slowly start to unwind. Switch, hug your left leg in, extend your right leg long. Use your right hand to guide your left knee across your body. Simple twist. If you'd like a little more intensity, you can reach your left hand down as you bend your right knee and grab the inside of your right foot. Unwind onto your back, hug both knees into your chest. If there's any final pose or stretch you would like to take here, now would be a great time. So happy baby, Utthita Padangustasana, anything else you're missing. If and when your practice feels complete, lie down onto your back, any comfortable position. If that doesn't feel good, grab a seated meditation instead. Remove any distractions away from your mat. Make yourself as comfortable as possible. Close your eyes if you're comfortable, or just choose, again, a spot on the ceiling or in the sky, soft gaze. Relaxing all of the muscles in your face, releasing effort from your body, and just feel. Without judgment or expectation, feel the breath, feel sensations as they arise, and let them fade. Shavasana. Take a deep breath in and out. If you have time to stay, I always encourage it. If not, begin to wiggle fingers, toes, welcome sensation back into your body. Eventually, rolling the wrists, the ankles, and stretching the arms overhead. Hug both knees into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Roll off to one side as a way to come up to a comfortable seated position. Soft gaze or eyes closed, hands at your heart. Take a moment to honor all that you brought to your mat today and all that this practice brought up for you. Maybe some things you were able to let go of, contemplate, or look at a little bit deeper, feel more. Take a full breath in. Exhale. Namaste. Thank you for choosing to practice with me. I hope you enjoyed this one. Give it a thumbs up, let me know in the comments, and share this with your family and friends. Please hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you'd like to help support my channel, you can find a PayPal link below. Donations are never required, but always appreciated. Hopefully I'll see you back next week.